For a long while during the post-crisis / pre-New 52 era of DC Comics, Tim Drake served as the primary and more recognizable Robin in the overall Batman mythos. Many longtime fans alike might have grown up with the Tim Drake character, specifically during his 90s series written by Chuck Dixon, or maybe became more invigorated with the character during his time as Red Robin. What made Tim Drake stand out or resonate with young readers was how he was the relatable Robin, struggling to balance his vigilante life with his social life. And he didn't have some tragic backstory with dead parents or growing up in the streets like Dick or Jason Todd. Tim Drake as a character proved to be capable of carrying the Robin mantle after the death of Jason Todd. As a character, he ended up being the person who helped Bruce build a network of people and helped Bruce realize how much he could rely on outside of himself. His intellect and critical analysis made him a formidable opponent and stood out in comparison to the rest of the BatFamily characters in DC Comics lore. Tim by far is the most underrated out of the four main Robins in the BatFamily, and that largely has to do with how DC really hasn't known what to do with the character ever since the start of the New 52.
Look how they massacred my boy.
By the end of the post-crisis continuity, Tim Drake had come a long way as a character. He had been successful as Robin and Batman's hope for the future. He'd fought some of Batman's worst enemies and succeeded with an effectiveness that no Robin before has managed to do so, mainly due to his resourcefulness and intelligence. Tim's character was always about potential, the potential to be the best. Every character he faced would be astonished by how quickly he learned and adapt. Tim Drake as Robin made a name for himself by being more of a detective and less of an acrobat or brawler. One example that shows Tim's true intellect was during the time when Bruce Wayne was presumed dead following the events of Final Crisis. Tim Drake began operating more independently as Red Robin, while Dick Grayson took on the mantle of Batman with Damian Wayne as his Robin. Even though people convinced themselves Bruce Wayne was dead, Tim sought out to actually figuring out what happened to Bruce as he discovered evidence of Batman being lost in the time stream. Tim Drake's been trained in a variety of fighting styles by different martial artists masters like Batman, Lady Shiva, Nightwing, etc. His signature bow staff gives him an edge with his fighting style. Due to his training with Batman, he's a master escape artist with a firm understanding of techniques including computer analysis, criminology, forensics, stealth/disguise tactics, etc. The New 52 reboot of DC Comics sort of reinvented the Tim Drake origin and how he got involved with Batman and the Bat-family. In Tim Drake's original origin, he was shown to be very intelligent at a young age with how much he obsessed over the dynamic duo of Batman and Dick Grayson Robin. At a young age, Tim actually attended the circus event in which Dick Grayson's parents were murdered during one of their performance acts. He was able to deduce the identities of both Bruce Wayne as Batman and Dick Grayson as Robin as he saw Dick perform a quadruple somersault, which was an identical maneuver he performed at the circus. Tim Drake also noticed Batman's more erratic and brutal mentality after the death of Jason Todd Robin. With this, Tim went out of his way in pursuit of Nightwing to convince him to become Robin again, as he believed Batman needed a Robin in order to keep him in check. Dick refused, and while helping Batman take down Two-Face, they both ended up getting captured, which motivated Tim to don a Robin costume to come to their aid. Batman was originally hesitant and reluctant to take in another Robin, but quickly saw potential in Tim and initiated him as a new Robin. He eventually got his own uniquely designed Robin suit, which differed from the designs of Dick Grayson and Jason Todd as their role as Robin. Now let's take a look at his New 52 origin. During his teenage years, Tim was a successful student and an athlete. For whatever reason, Tim became so obsessed with Batman that he tirelessly spent time trying to figure out Batman's secret identity. Batman took notice of this and gave Tim an ominous warning in hopes that he would stop. Tim ignored his warning and tried even harder to find his identity, going as far as literally stealing $100 million from the Penguin in hopes of getting Batman's attention to prove himself. This led to some gangsters being sent after Tim Drake's family, forcing them to move into witness protection. Bruce Wayne then proceeds to adopt Tim as his legal ward, revealing himself to be the Batman to him. Oh, and another weird thing, his last name wasn't even originally Drake in the New 52, he only changed it as a way of protecting himself and his family after being hunted by the mob due to him literally endangering his family just to get Batman's attention. As an added bonus, so pretty much Tim endangered his entire family, causing them to go into witness protection just to get the attention of Batman to become the next Robin. Unlike Batman's previous partners, Tim Drake starts off as Red Robin right away instead of just Robin. Many of the interesting dynamics and stories between Tim and Bat-family were kind of non-existent in the New 52, in comparison to his pre-crisis counterpart, as a lot of his time was spent with the Teen Titan. And you don't really see some of his more notable detective skills and intelligence other than just being the tech/computer guy, which is a massive oversimplification of the character. This is the same character pre-New 52 that was stated to have the potential to surpass the likes of Batman in being the world's greatest detective, and outsmarted some of DC's most formidable foes like Ra's al Ghul, getting praise from Ra's al Ghul himself as well. And the unfortunate truth is that it basically all goes downhill from here. DC almost did some interesting things with Tim during the beginning of DC Rebirth with James Tynion's run of the Detective Comics, in which Tim helped lead a new BatFamily team and built a new base of operations called the Belfry. DC helped rekindle Stephanie Brown and Tim's relationship, which was a massive part of Tim's character post-Crisis. But after this, sadly, DC has had no idea what to do with him. Characters like Dick and Jason have had their characters and identities developed more outside of just being part of the BatFamily. Nightwing leading the New Titans or being his own character in the city of Bloodhaven with his own set of villains and side characters is a good example. Before the New 52, Tim had immense character growth with his own cast of characters like Stephanie Brown, or when he was a part of the Teen Titans roster written by Jeff Johns. Of all the BatFamily, Tim Drake is the one that needs this kind of progression the most, but in more recent years he's been stuck in limbo with writers not doing anything interesting with him. There was that infamous time where they had Tim Drake change his superhero alias to just Drake. What? And gave him his horrendous new brown costume. They had my boy built like a human duck. Oh my god. A big part as to why the Tim Drake character gets underappreciated is his lack of major appearances in other media. Many fans have become accustomed to Jason Todd as a character due to the Under the Red Hood animated movie. Nightwing has had a prominent role in numerous adaptations of the DC universe like the Teen Titans cartoon, Young Justice, the Arkham games, the DC AMU or slash the DC animated movie universe, and many others. Now Tim has been adapted in a number of projects like Batman Arkham, Young Justice, the animated series, but he's never really been the center focus. The new Batman Adventures, for example, had Tim as Robin for a bit, but the show never portrayed any of Tim's more notable character traits from the comics. This would also be an issue in Batman Arkham and Gotham Knights, for example. The live-action Titans show also does not do a good job at all when it comes to adapting Tim Drake, as the later seasons don't do a proper job of justifying his stay on the team, nor does the show demonstrate the unique nature of Tim's character.
Who are you supposed to be?
I'm Robin.
See, now that's some bullshit.
DC seems to neglect the character in a myriad of adaptations in which he's just completely ignored or skipped over, like in the DC AMU. And even if he is adapted properly, he doesn't have a major role, or he really isn't the center of attention. James Gunn, please do not skip over Jason Todd or Tim Drake of the BatFamily and the Brave and the Bold. Thank you. Man, it's just sad to see once a beloved character become redundant and pushed aside in the hands of DC Editorial. They've tried numerous different tactics in an attempt to try and make the Tim Drake character more relevant, but it becomes painfully obvious that these changes, quote unquote, so to speak, were never beneficial to the character, but rather a desperate attempt to keep certain conversations going.
Check it out. Oh, good morning, Rupert. Please tell me you set the timer on the coffee maker because I completely forgot. Hey, girl. Hey, can I get a couple of scratch-off lottery tickets? Oh, sure, Brian. Oh, Brian, can I do one? I love scratches. Well, all right, maybe just one. Cherry. Another cherry. Oh, come on, one more.
Honestly, I feel like they need to do something similar to what they did with New 52 Superman, in which he died and then was replaced by the post-crisis slash pre-New 52 version. Yeah, do that but for Tim, because oh boy, this modern take on the character ain't Tim Drake, I'll tell you that much.